departure, Bloodhound 204 airborne, squawking tree 4000.
Roger, 204. Come starboard 2240.
Roger, coming starboard 240.
Operation 6 on 6 demonstrated the effectiveness of the Hughes Phoenix missile system by attacking 6 different targets at one time. 3 air-launched drones represented enemy fighter aircraft at supersonic speed. 3 obsolete training aircraft represented larger enemy bombers. And 1 Mach 2 land-based drone represented a launched missile. They were sacrificed in the cause of presenting the Tomcat with an array of targets. With a Navy crew at the controls, each of the 6 targets were individually identified on the radar scope and allocated a Phoenix.
Fox 1. One's away. Two's in the air. Three's in the air. Four's in the air. Check the target cameras.
4th missile in the air. Target cameras on.
Five's in the air. Six in the air.
At one time, all 6 missiles were in the air, streaking towards their individual targets. Only 4 of the 6 targets were destroyed, but this was due entirely to a malfunction in the 2 drones. The information collected proved conclusively that even under 6-to-1 odds, the Phoenix Tomcat combination had a success rate of 80% or better. The first 2 carrier-based Tomcat squadrons were the VF-1 Wolfpack and the VF-2 Bounty Hunters. With their induction, the Navy now had in one plane an answer to the missile threat and an advanced dogfighter. Every landing is a new experience, even for veteran pilots. Placing 80,000 pounds and $40 million worth of high technology onto a few hundred square feet of deck takes its toll on men and machinery alike. Undercarriages and airframes have to come to terms with phenomenal stress, and sometimes not always with the desired result. Here, a Tomcat hits the deck of the Forrestal, and the landing gear gives way. Still containing fuel and probably armament, the aircraft effectively blocks the landing approach to all other aircraft and must quickly be removed. A gantry hoists the crippled plane up for removal. Firefighters and medical teams stand by as the entire complement is well aware of the devastation an exploding aircraft could create. Finally, the plane is secured, a source of jubilation to at least one member of the deck crew. The Tomcat's major role should never be considered as an aircraft alone. It is a combination of airframe, avionics, and missilery. The components come together to form a lethal package, a complete weapon system. Miramar Naval Air Station is Fighter Town, home of the famous Top Gun fighter pilot school. Here, crews are given the opportunity to pace their F-14s against aircraft from aggressor squadrons. These aggressor aircraft are specially modified to resemble the flying characteristics of potential Soviet adversaries. Here, a crew flying a modified A-4 Mongoose pits its skills against the crew of an F-14 Tomcat. Although only an exercise, the doctrine of these engagements is train like you fight, fight like you train. But the Tomcat's also made to win when the game is real, as it was over the Gulf of Sidra in August of 1981. With the carrier task force testing Gaddafi's line of death in the Mediterranean, tensions were high. On August 19th, the patrolling Hawkeye detected two fighters traveling at high speed towards the carrier John F. Kennedy. Two patrolling Tomcats were sent to intercept. At the controls of one was Commander Larry Muzinski.
First thing on the second morning of this exercise we were doing, they came out and approached us head on. We had them in radar contact the whole way. And as they were approaching, we didn't suspect any particular problems. But then as they were approaching us about a mile away, their lead aircraft fired what we believe to be an ATOL heat-seeking missile head on at us, and we just evaded that missile very quickly and turned around and went on the attack. Which our rules of engagement at that time, President Reagan had just changed the rules of engagement, said if you're ever fired at, you can return fire and protect yourself, and we'll talk about it later, which is exactly what we did. We passed them head on at about 600 miles an hour, did our 7G reversal turn and got behind them, and my commanding officer who was flying the other aircraft shot one down, and I shot the leader down, and the whole thing from the time they shot till the time we had both of them down was 44 seconds long. There was no reason to suspect that anything like that was going to happen that morning, but it did. And therefore, you do revert into this reactionary mode, and you start thinking, okay, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, the next step, the next step, the next step, and you do it. And we did everything we had trained to do. The results were exactly what they were supposed to be. You didn't have time to get nervous because things were happening so fast. When it was over with, done with, we joined back up together and we're heading back for the ship. Then the adrenaline high started wearing off and literally got so uncontrollable, the shakes, everything like that, just had to reach down, click on the autopilot and let the autopilot fly the airplane back up to the ship for about 15 minutes while we just all calmed down.
With the assistance of fleet refuel, American carriers can be replenished and kept at sea for months, enabling naval strategists to bring aerial firepower within range of trouble spots anywhere in the world. The Second World War, Korea, Vietnam, Libya, and now the Persian Gulf have all demonstrated the importance of this flexibility. But it's only with the Tomcat that the Navy can be sure that its floating runways are impervious to attack.